get gear. I am going to review Nightmare Mode and Dying Light 2. We're gonna go over the good and bad, and I'm gonna be doing this for Tower whenever that comes out in June. So yeah, we're just gonna get straight into it. I'm fucking tired. It's 3 in the morning. Alrighty, one of the good things I want to get down with this update is that they actually somehow made the game feel difficult, but not like too difficult. So a prime example I can give you in Dying Light 1 in Nightmare Mode, it was ultimately kind of a left click simulator during the day on early game because your weapons would do absolutely nothing and take you like probably 10 hits to kill one single biter. And even when you do get higher rarity weapons, it still was just left click simulator, just spam attack. There really wasn't much to do because the form of combat was much different back then. Now with Dying Light 2, advanced parkour combat and all the moves you can pull off and all that, it still feels very balanced. Like I don't take a long time to kill biters or virals. I'm rocking brawler gear, so that means I'm more efficient in one-handed weapons. So even when I don't use one-handed weapons, it still feels very good to take down virals and biters. It's not like drastically long as I thought it would be. I thought it would be like if you're not in the class of that weapon type, you're just gonna be spamming left click to get it, but it's actually very good. It's not that difficult at all. It's got enemies with other weapon types that are not yours. And I don't know how they did this, but they made knights actually difficult. And I am rocking, as I said, brawler gear, so I get the efficiency of having like damage resistance towards infected. Right now, that's only like 30 something percent because like ever since updates, like stuff has gotten re-rolled, so all my stats have gotten re-rolled. So my armor's kind of doo doo right now. But from just two volatiles alone, if they each hit me once, I get to like 100 health, and I have maxed out health and stamina. So that's very dangerous. Like the best, I would say honestly, if you want to do volatile grinds or just kill a volatile on Nightmare and you don't want to use the glitch weapon because that's lame, use UV bars and pray you have a good Nocturnal that does high damage towards volatiles because you're gonna need it, trust me. I wanted to quickly talk about tactile stamina as well. I really do like the addition of tactile stamina. It's basically how in Dying Light's 1 Nightmare mode, certain moves that didn't take stamina would take stamina now. And with that, with tactile stamina, what it does in Dying Light 2 is that anytime you do moves that cost stamina, your stamina recharges slower. Now, there's a good and bad to this. I'm going to say the bad part is if you're like rocking brawler gear or anything that has fast stamina regeneration, you don't ever notice this tactical stamina reduction because I have brawler gear and I have really quick stamina regeneration. So after I use a move, like in a second, my stamina regens. So not why is he nocturnal dummy? The stamina reduction from tactical stamina doesn't really affect me, but I did try other gears just to get the experience. I did tank, that felt really costly because what tank does is that it has stamina cost reduction, so it doesn't take a much stamina from my big swinging attacks, of course. Because two hands usually take more stamina. But even when I did it, when I still had like a bunch of virals on me during the day with howlers, I kind of had to choose when I had to hit and then when I can just use my parkour moves like grapple or like slide, really, because every stamina counted and I wasn't getting that fast regeneration back. So I do like the option, and I do like it that if you're not playing on Nightmare and you're not the person to enjoy Nightmare because you're not an end game player, that you can turn it on any mode for a little challenge or like feel a little bit different, you know. I like this idea more because it kind of prepares the player if they do want to experience Nightmare. Let's say you're a player, you only play on normal, and then you're like, okay, I want to start playing harder difficulty so I get better rewards and more XP. So you crank the baby to hard mode, and then you turn on tactile stamina to get yourself prepared to be playing Nightmare later down the line. I think this idea is great, and it helps a lot more of the casual players in Dying Light help get into more creativeness and hard difficulties to challenge themselves. Because I know a lot of people just like playing the game for fun and on easy mode, which is fine. You don't have to play the game on hard. It's meant for the die-hard players after all. But it's a great way to introduce it to them. Increased with Nightmare mode is 5 times legend level XP. Now, I'm already max legend leveled already. So for any newcomers, which I have seen, because the game still tells me how much XP I get, even though I'm already max XP, and it still technically gives me the XP, but not really. It's really weird. But you can do a lot of simple side missions or missions during nighttime, and you get so much XP. Like I remember I did this stupid little side mission in the nighttime, and I got like 30k XP from just doing it, a little simple one. And this, if you want to really get XP faster legend levels, and you play like on normal or something, I just suggest cranking into Nightmare real quick, doing the side mission, get the XP, and then dipping out. Because it's such a great way. It's so good for getting more XP. Another thing as well is the little HUD change is actually pretty nice. I didn't expect me to like it that much. I thought it was going to be like you couldn't see any of your HUD anymore, like the gameplay I have here. This is just me switching some things off so I get a more clear and smoother experience for the video. But it's actually not. It changes a lot of the settings to dynamic, and it turns off a lot of the more settings you don't need during gameplay, which I already had on, which was fine. But when you actually turn it off in Nightmare and go back to normal, you see so much UI. It's so crazy. You just get UI jump scared. But I like the change. It feels very more immersive, and actually playing the game with no HUD at all feels really intense during the nighttime. I highly recommend it. But I think it's another good thing on Nightmare. I've heard some people say that they're not a huge fan of it, or it's kind of weird because the game forces the options on you because you can turn them off by yourself. But I think it's a great addition to limit the UI and make it more immersive for players. Because playing Dying Light with no HUD is crazy, honestly. One thing also they added is the ability to get more higher rarity loot spawns chance happen more. Now, for me, I mainly aim for exotic slash artifact, mainly exotic. I have so many exotic weapons in my chest from grinding. But I mainly got those from Pilgrim Chest, and I didn't test it. I forgot to test them in my testing during all this hours. I just kept playing the game for hours the whole entire day. I didn't test this really to see exotics that pop more out of Pilgrim Chest from doing like side things like you do Pilgrim Chest, but I did notice a lot around the open world when I was opening chests. I was getting a lot more purple and gold weapons, which is also really nice if you're a newer player and you're trying to get quick high rarity weapons. Nightmare is always a good way to get it, and you can just switch back to difficulty because the difficulties adapt to your damage anyways, so it's not like you're losing a whole lot. It's just free weapon rarities, but it's a good option. I gotta test it more for exotics though. Now we can rejoice that Dying Light nights are officially gotten more hectic and scarier. Something I've been advocating ever since the Good Night Good Luck update, and it's finally here. Two or three major updates later. I don't really remember how far we're in right now, but we finally have volatile tyrants during chases, and it is amazing what they have done with them. Because before you would interact with them or shoot them when they're in their little event space, they would still chase after you, but then after a while they kind of just lose track of you because they're not meant to go that far from the player. Adding them to chases has made the whole thing insane, and it's made it more hectic because they are more faster than volatiles, they pounce more than volatiles, they hit harder, they stun lock you more. They're really more dangerous than the regular volatiles. I do like it when you do reach level 5 chase, which is when you get tyrants. It's all just tyrants and like maybe like one or two virals, and it makes it way more dangerous because usually if you mix a few volatiles and tyrants, that's fine, but the fact that it's all tyrants makes it super dangerous to even dare get hit by one. Because if you get stun locked by one, you're gonna kiss your health goodbye. Because they're most likely no one that's gonna pounce you afterwards or just hit you again. And the stun lock is no joke. You get stun locked for like 2 seconds, you get hit by a heavy hit from them. And it is amazing. I love it at night, especially with the new like level 5 chase track, dude. Oh my god, like I gotta show you a clip of it right here. A good thing I forgot to mention as well, that I completely forgot it because it's not really that noticeable, is the flashlight dimming and flickering and eventually going out. I thought this was going to be like DL1, where it was going to be kind of obnoxious, because in DL1 you only kind of every like 2 minutes or so, your flashlight would dim out, and you have to quickly turn it on and the back off to see. Because between Dying Light 2 and 1, Dying Light 1 is obviously more darker at night, and you need to see. And I'm proud that they made nights darker. I will advocate for that. That's really good. It's not as dark as Dying Light 1. It doesn't need to be, but I still wish we had a more darker skybox. I don't like that the moon is so bright, but I actually found the flashlight flickering thing really pleasing. It's not as annoying as Dying Light 1, even though it wasn't that really much of a problem because you just turn it on and off in like half a second by pushing T twice. But I do like that it slowly over time dims. It doesn't like dim really rapidly, and even if it does dim, there's actually a lot of counter ways to get through this. So if you use your UV flashlight during your flashlight and it's dim, it just resets your flashlight back to full brightness, which is really good. I don't think that's intentional, but if it is, thankfully it is. And as well as the flickering is actually not that noticeable. I don't know if this, I feel like this needs a buff, honestly, in this aspect. The flickering is a little noticeable. You don't really notice the flickering until your flashlight maybe gets like halfway through dimming. And then even when it does dim little by little, it's not that huge of a problem. You can still see through it. Obviously, if you know the layout of the map, it's not that bad of a problem. But I find it really appeasing. I think this is a good change. I was really hoping it wasn't going to be like Dying Light 1, and they actually did it. It's a pretty good flashlight change. Other than the flickering needing a buff, I would say, yeah, this is perfect for Nightmare mode. And all thing we really just need now is real-time shadows or dynamic shadows for the flashlight, and it'll be a crazy immersion experience. And another thing for this last part, for the good section, I want to say is actually reducing nighttime escaping. What I mean by that is during that nighttime, a lot of people would say chases are easy ever since Good Night Good Luck because you could just paraglide away. And they have made it at night, anytime during night too, not just during a chase. Your paraglider takes like triple your stamina or double, and it reduces rapidly. Now, I have seen if you rock ranger gear that this doesn't affect you a whole lot because you have hardcore stamina reduction like a lot. But the thing is, no one really uses ranger gear, lol. So it makes it so paragliding at night is very dangerous. I would think I would enjoy it a little more, really, if during a chase you're just not allowed to use the paraglider. But I can see why they lean this because if you're on a really tall building, you do need to get down somehow. But I find this really amazing. It makes it so you can't really just paraglide escape out of chases, and it makes it so you have to face the night. And this actually accommodates well with the recent nerf they did the volatiles in this update, where they made it so they spawn less on the rooftops. Because a lot of people complain there's way too many volatiles, and I didn't really find it bad. It was still easy to get around them, but I do like it there's less on the rooftop because since like UI is so limited, it would have been like so many just to get encountered by, and now it's kind of rare to see them on the rooftop. They're mainly in the street where they belong. Because in Dying Light 1, there was almost like never a lot on rooftops. They would mainly be on the ground. They make ground so dangerous. So I'm glad it fits more like DL1's volatiles aspect when they're roaming, which is really good. Alright, up next, we're going to take a nitpick side and do the bad section. An already thing I've had a lot during my gameplay hours, I don't know if this was just my game being buggy at the time. I've heard some other people having problems, and I've seen people stream have other problems with the update. There's a lot of bugs with audio cutting in and out, especially during like music or voice lines just randomly won't load, or they'll be heavily delayed. This has been a thing in DL2 for a while, but ever since like one of the major updates, it didn't happen that much, and happened actually very rarely, to the point where it's almost fixed. And it kind of seems like it's back. It's happened to me a lot for my playthrough. Like, so what I did today when I hopped in the update was I finished my file that I was working on to get the new outfit, but it doesn't count if you already had a file that was existing, and like you have to completely start. So the video I have here is me trying to play through a new Game Plus file to get everything done. And I had mainly a lot before this gameplay right here, a lot of bugs with textures popping in and out. This has been a thing in DL2. It's still not fixed. Audio popping in and out, that's back, and it's kind of annoying, really. As well as enemies not really spawning in correctly during chases. like before level 5, like sometimes enemies just won't spawn in. I don't know why. It's really weird. It happens a lot in what's it called, the central loop area. Enemies just won't spawn during chase sometimes. Like sometimes you just move a little bit and nothing spawns in. I don't know if this is a glitch or it's just a bug or something like that, but it's really weird. Tell during level 5 chases, unfortunately it's a thing since Good Night Good Luck. AI isn't really that promising. This is something I was hoping they were going to fix since they're I had a feeling they would had like either I was either hoping for tyrants just join a chase all around or a higher level chase because people have been also wanting that since the start of the game. And unfortunately, the AI shows how it's not the greatest. Like the things with tyrants that I've noticed is I believe they've made them spawn faster than volatiles because when they spawn out of hatches, they just come in like flooding quick. Like you see so many in like a second. But the thing is, they have very hard trouble tracking the player than the average Like somehow their AI is fathomably worse than the volatiles, and the volatiles can keep up still, like decently. But whenever I move to like a slightly higher elevation that's a couple meters up or downwards, the tyrants have very hard trouble keeping track of me, and it just leads them to just either firing spit, which loses sight of me more, or they just climb all the way down a building or something and they just start losing track of me. And I can't tell when I'm losing the chase sometimes because of the audio problem of popping in and out, especially when you're losing a chase or anything, or like you're losing a music of an area. The music will just stop randomly and I can't really tell if I'm losing or not until it randomly pops back in and I hear the certain fading sound effect of the music going away for the chase. That's like another bad side of having no HUD. You can never tell really if you're losing a chase or if the chase is fading away because you don't have the HUD to see it. And a little side note is there actually is no level 5 icon. I really wish level 5 was in all modes. It would have been more fun. I don't know why it's only exclusive to Nightmare. I hope in the update they add that in and add a new because there's no level 5 chase icon. It only goes to 4 because if since there's no HUD, there's no need to make another UI 5 because if it's just a hard mode, just auto goes back to 4. So I do hope they fix this mainly with the volatile UI. They have talked about it in their Dying to Know stream. They have they have noticed it and they do know they do want to work on it, but it's probably not gonna get fixed until either during DLC 2 or after DLC 2 because they're working hard on tower mode right now and then DLC 2, so the updates are going to be pretty slow during these next couple months. But yeah, Tyrant's AI majorly needs a fix as well as all Chase UI, or not UI, sorry, AI. Now, I know I was praising Tyrants earlier in level 5, but it's also a slight downside. See, the fact of it just spawning Tyrants is good, but you don't get that many. So, you know how I talked about the AI being pretty bad? Well, just moving a few meters or so out of their recoil just kind of makes them either pounce and fly off the dang building, which is funny, but it also means you get less of them. And sometimes more than 3 don't even spawn at times. Like, I kind of had to be standing still and fighting them to get like maybe 6 of them and overwhelm me. I don't know if there's a cap limit or it's just the fact of the AI is so jank that it can't really comprehensively spawn more when they're chasing me. Like it's pretty rare for me to have like maybe 6 tyrants on me. Like at most of the time I get like 3, maybe like a few virals, and it's pretty weird that they don't allow it to spawn more volatiles with tyrants, but it spawns virals with tyrants, which I don't get. I feel like it should just either be all tyrants and just spawn a shit ton, and obviously if the AI was better it would work better, or mix tyrants and volatiles, which I don't know, it's really weird. I think I think it's just that tyrants were never really made for chases, so I don't know if this needs a fix or what it was, because tyrants have never been able to be in the chase. This is their first time in the chase. So I don't blame them if it has bugs and stuff. I know it's a nitty gritty, but it's my nitty gritty. I just want the chases to be better because I love the chase system in Dying Light as a whole. So uh, that's my other nitpick. Now, I wouldn't really consider this a bad thing. This is something I kind of want to put under I want section. I really wish in a future update when they do improve Chase UI during that update, they make it so Nightmare, instead of just having level 5 Chase, you have endless Chase. So when you get spotted, they will not stop following you no matter how far away, how far you run away or anything. You will never lose a chase ever, and you kind of just keep running. It's a mod I have on Dying Light 1 where it's Endless Pursuit mod, where no matter how far I run, they will never stop following me until I reach a UV safe spot or a safe zone. And it would make it 10 times more fun than just excluding having level 5 chase to Nightmare only. Because if they add level 5, I feel like they should add level 5 to every difficulty, and then make it so that Nightmare has exclusively endless chase for the hardcore players. It'd be so nice. Alright, this will be the end of the review. Overall, I give the update a good 8 out of 10. I know there's some things I didn't go over, like I didn't go over gear loadouts and all that. It's kind of a minor thing, really, and some other minor things in the updates, really. Like, they fixed a lot of issues with the zombies and all that, and I know I could put that in the gun section, but I didn't want this video to be too long. But if you want to check out the facts on yourself, I will link them in the description so you can look at them yourself. But overall, I really love this update. I hope a lot of things I point out do get fixed eventually. I know they know the problems, but it wouldn't be criticism without just saying it. So overall, I love this update. Really good. I'm really excited for Tower Raid when that comes out and the rewards are gonna get with it. And I'll see you guys all in the next Dying Light video. Peace.